Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 9 of Transformers Armada. Now, as we left off, the minicons have sent back into space, along with Red, and we're introduced to the next issue. So this issue starts off how an unknown minicon is looking on, and inside they're like, Prime, what's going on? That pattern, the one left after the orbit ship, wherever took off, what does it mean? And Megatron points out is that whatever the signal was, then that means the minicons have been taken, and everyone tries to get ready to go on for them, and like, Megatron's like, minicons, we were unaware even existed now, a rich stream of power, waiting to be trapped. Sure, right, but where are they all? The moon. Red's on the moon. And so, Aldous points out is that, well, when the minicons took off on Cybertron, one half that crashed must have had the other minicons in there. The other half that had the half bit there took the minicons back onto Earth. And so they have to try and find out how to get there. And they're like, right, hey, is anyone here? Why wasn't someone come? I mean, whatever brought us here must have had a decision. Guess not. Ever think this might be a reason? And you got the Starship of Minicon saying, so decided to just remove us, lock us up, throw away the key? I don't buy it. Absolutely not. No way. And so we're introduced to the other minicons that did survive the crash that landed on the moon, are known as Dolo, Drillbit, and Buzzsaw. It says, you survived? Yes, and many more. But where are we? What's with the force fields? And how did we get here anyway? Last I remember, like, now stand away from the barrier, please. No sudden moves. So we're prisoners, is that it? So, the minicons point out is that they've built something better, and they want Sparkplug to see what they've got. So, Optimus and the others head back to base to try and find a way to get onto the moon. And they point out that, and next is pointed out using the space bridge, but Optimus states, it's not that simple. A space bridge is traceable. It will light up Autobot base Cybertron like a beacon. We got lucky before, but it's a safe bet that Megatron won't miss that trick a second time. What about Megatron? Right about now? Don't you think he's doing exactly what we're not? And so you're introduced to Thrust, who just shows up automatically. Megatron's like, oh, Thrust, good job. You have the booster packs? Yeah, not that I put much faith in them. Prefer to fly under my own stream, you know. Not exactly an option. Perhaps you care to join us? Sure, what's the game? The game is Hunt for Minicons. Ah, heck, my favourite. So meanwhile, on the moon, we see that the other minicons that crashed on the planet of the moon had built their own sort of utopian society. And they're like, we've had longer this time, but we're ready. But suddenly they get a kind of thing saying, and us, when did you decide we wanted in? When the narrative was being Megatron's pet power cell, our Prime's lucky. So we see the kind of like mini sort of arc, and we see the kind of mind bombs being made, and we see that everyone's been busy. Now, this does question me, like, during the 60s, was the moon landing staged during the whole kind of Dreamwave continuity? Was Neil Armstrong captured or anything? So Sparkplug says, I see, you approached us exactly the same luck of concentration as the Decepticons. They're like, if you can't see the difference between this and living at Prime's back and cell, or being Megatron's slave, then you've more been brainwashed than I realized. So, Megatron and the Decepticons, minus Demolisher who couldn't fly, head to where the Minicons are. They managed to get through with no problem. They land down saying, "Embrace yourselves." And Starscream's like I needed telling. Gah! And so, Demolisher looks on in space and wonders what's going on. So, mainly Hotshot is talking with Optimus saying that should we take him down? And Optimus says do it. And they manage to activate the space bridge, and Megatron tries to blast down the Minicon fortress. So they have a kind of bargaining chip idea, but later on Megatron is trashing down everything in sight. And Megatron's like, "Decepticons, fall back!" So they decide to use a kind of idea saying, if we want the Autobots to keep their distance, we'll just have to tell them the right initiative. And so you have Red tied up thinking, please help me. So yeah, this was the story. So what do I think? Definitely good and definitely alright. So I do question is how no one noticed this kind of Minicon society in space. Was Neil Armstrong captured or anything? So the story deserves a good thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So Comic Reviewer here, signing out.